Reality is often not what it seems. The main character of the film The Matrix, named Neo, learns this lesson when he discovers that what he thought was the physical world is actually a computer-simulated reality called The Matrix, which was created by evil and intelligent machines in order to keep humanity at bay. It will come as a surprise to many that modern physics has a lesson to teach us which is similar to, and every bit as startling, or better yet, mind-blowing, as the lesson learned by Neo. Am I suggesting that you and I are really living in a computer-generated simulation and that we are really just brains sitting in vats somewhere that are being stimulated by intelligent machines? No, I'm not. But the lesson modern physics has to teach requires us to reframe our perception of the world in which we live even more profoundly than Neo. So let's start our trip down the rabbit hole. The physical world is not an artificial construct created by a computer program, as in the film The Matrix, but rather it is a construct of consciousness. A consciousness produces the physical world. Physical reality, matter, does not exist without consciousness. There is no reality independent of mind. The knighted mathematician, physicist, and astronomer Sir James Jeans writes in his book, The Mysterious Universe, "There is a wide measure of agreement which, on the physical side of science, approaches almost unanimity that the stream of knowledge is heading towards a non-mechanical reality. The universe begins to look more like a great thought than a great machine. Mind no longer appears as an accidental intruder into the realm of matter. We are beginning to suspect that we ought rather to hail mind as the creator and governor of the realm of matter." Similarly, Max Planck, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist who made the crucial scientific contribution of founding quantum theory, writes, "As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you as a result of my research about atoms this much. There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter." Regarding this mind, which is the matrix of all matter, quote-unquote, hardened atheists and agnostics would no doubt hope that Planck and other physicists would avoid using the G word. They would be sorely disappointed. Planck and a majority of the other most important contributors to modern physics, yes, including Einstein, make liberal use of the G word. Planck, for example, writes, "Both religion and science require a belief in God. For believers, God is the beginning, and for physicists, he is the end of all considerations. To the former, he is the foundation. To the latter, the crown and edifice of every generalized worldview." Max Born, another Nobel Prize-winning physicist who made crucial contributions to modern science, is even more blunt. "Those who say that the study of science makes a man an atheist must be rather silly. Something which is against natural laws seems to me rather out of the question because it would be a depressive idea about God. It would make God smaller than must be assumed. When he stated that these laws hold, then they hold, and he wouldn't make exceptions. This is too human an idea. Humans do such things, but not God." Interestingly enough, the view that the material world is a projection or construct of consciousness is nothing new. It has been with us for thousands of years. Modern physics has merely scientifically validated what classical philosophy, not to mention the Bible, has insisted all along. Keith Ward is a retired professor of philosophy at King's College in London and a member of the Council of the Royal Institute of Philosophy. In his book, Is Religion Irrational?, he writes, "Materialist philosophers argue that consciousness is a construct of matter, but Plato and almost all the great classical philosophers, East and West, suggest the opposite. Matter, at least as it appears to us, is a construct of consciousness. Consciousness is real and creative. It is not just a byproduct of the world we perceive. Without consciousness, that world, the world we perceive, would not even exist." Another quantum physicist, John von Neumann, said, "All real things are contents of consciousness." This is about as far from materialism as you can get, and it is an interpretation of modern physics, not some weird, religiously inspired theory. Physicist Richard Kahn Henry from Johns Hopkins University explains why people, including many scientists, resist this conclusion of modern physics so tenaciously. Materialism, which holds that matter is fundamental and that consciousness is a construct of matter, and which has been discredited by modern physics, allows those who find the concept of God distasteful a means of denying him. Henry writes, "Why do people cling with such ferocity to belief in a mind-independent reality? It is surely because if there is no such reality, then ultimately, as far as we can know, mind alone exists. And if mind is not a product of real matter, but rather is the creator of the illusion of material reality, which has in fact, despite the materialists, been known to be the case since the discovery of quantum mechanics in 1925, then a theistic view of our existence becomes the only rational alternative to solipsism." Materialism, the view that matter comes first and the conscious mind arrives on the scene much later and only then as a byproduct of material processes and undirected evolutionary change, as cited in the intro video, can be compared to the soil in which the seed of disbelief in God grows. But the problem for atheism is this: this soil can exist only in the minds of those who are blissfully unaware of, or stubbornly refuse to accept, the insights of modern physics. For a more in-depth exploration of this subject, please see my essay, God is Real, Why Modern Physics Has Discredited Atheism, at godevidence.com.